So, hello everybody. Thank you for joining to the April webinar, Catalog webinar. So we have a bunch of things. I've tried to summarize it the most we can, but there's something that we really wanted to show because it's part of the growth and the development that we are under. Um, so I think the last webinar we did was in February. So we did not a March webinar, mainly because we were very busy building stuff, and also we have a maintenance month, so that was part of that. So I'm happy to show now soon all what's the latest updates. So let's get straight into it so I don't lose much of your time. So um, the way it goes is we have a short agenda, and we go over the main updates for the app. So what's new in our latest update, what is in store for the following update, and then questions and feedback that you might have. So we go from there straight into it. So I think over the last month and a half, we have been adding some stuff. Like some of it was like very relevant. You might remember the Elanco benchmark that is already on the air for those one that want to join in. We have had big uh, some big additions recently. Perhaps one of the main ones is related to the fact that we now can connect with one of the two leading companies in micro machines, basically vet companies or animal health companies, but that control one of the two most important micro machines. I'm talking about the AHI. So it's a huge milestone for us because we know that many farms have this equipment, and they might it's not always they want to work with the software that is part of that, that belongs to that machine in terms of management, or sometimes they just don't work with that, and they only have the machine. So this is an opportunity to for us to be able to offer using the micro machine and at the same time Cattler within the same process. And that was because we were able to strike a deal with Animal Health International, so that whenever the customers don't want to use the turnkey software, they can use ours and use the micro machines. I'm going to show you a little bit about that, but I just wanted to give a heads up. We have improvements in Chute. So long promise processing log, which is basically a one of in the same way that you have the feeding log, you have the processing log. So just basically having access to all of the sessions that you have already done. So that's about it, and having access to the summary. Of course, I think the summary, I'm not sure if it wasn't there, the summary itself by the time that we had the last webinar, and also more flexibility and treatment. So we will continue to improve on the Chute side of things. This is part of that schedule in giving it more accessibility, to being it more like quick, straight onto things. So there's much more that is coming for Chute, to the point that we say that we feel that it's really 100% for most of the customers, more practical. But like as we went unrolling this, like we had a lot of feedback from customers. So in different directions, I don't know, anything from like the size of the fonts to how you access to different tags, how easy, how we can connect to different AIDs, and different ways to connect to scales and AIDs, all the way to like having the processing log in place and having more flexibility to when you have to treat animals. So there's more, and also a bit about that. Another big thing is the ability to close a lot on a pen basis. This might seem a little bit stupid, but it's important because like for us the pen is just a like a physical space, but many farmers, many of you are already used to like uh, run vibe on a pen basis, assuming that the pen is the same as thing as a dot. But these are different things. So sometimes, like so far, what we had is that you would have to close every if you, especially if you had many different lots or pieces of lots in one pen. By the time you want to close it out, you had to go to each one of those sublots and close it. Now you can just do it, the whole thing for one pen in one only action. So that's cool. Another big thing that we have just launched is the green bank. So of course this is not for everybody. This is for mainly for custom feeders whenever they uncertain areas do it more than others. So whenever you receive from a customer a certain load, being able to flag that load as a green bank load, then I don't know, deduct it from the billing and also charge the customer for like a handling fee for the green bank. So that's another big feature that like long promised that we kept kicking ahead for many months, to the point that we decided now, as we are progressing now to seriously to more admin features, this is one of those big things that we were being asked. Also, um, more flexibility on bank score. So especially in Argentina, in South America, the way that they bank score, but also in some parts here in the US and North America, it's a little bit different, the scoring system that they use. So we're giving some steps in a wider program of improving the bank score even more. We are doing some steps on flexibilizing the way that you can work on either on like an absolute numbers, like for the leftovers, or percentages. In South America, it's pretty much how they work. So let me get into some of the details about this. So connectivity to micro machines. This is something that we have been working for a while, since October, and it came to light last month with the first 3 customers, and we already have another 6 or 7 on the way. So basically, it means that when you're loading and dropping, if you have a micro machine, you're able to click on that ingredient and activate and command the micro machine from the uh, tab from the Cadler app. So basically, what you're seeing is that as you are loading different ingredients, like you can connect with that with the machine, ask it to prepare, wait until it's ready, discharge, and off you go. Continue with the rest of the ingredients. I'm just going to fast forward a little bit, so because it's preparing. So it's ready. We have now asked to discharge. There you go. So it's discharging. So it's a pretty simple process. So it takes us as long as the mix, or how big the mix is. That is on their side, and you can see that there's a Cadler box, which is a modified version of the normal box that we have, especially dedicated to this type of machines, because we need to also to send information, not only receive information. And then it's ready, and off you go. So this is like, there we go. So now you're ready to go and just continue to load the other ingredients. Next ingredient. But you're not forced to come here like we did this there in the shed because we wanted to show how the machine reacted. You can go and just be on the truck.
Okay, we're gonna do a new
and,
order with
let
using
me-
the AHI
yeah.
interface. She's
and
gonna
just- so you can do it from the truck outside, and the system in the same way it's reading the the feed truck scale. It connects to the box that is connected to the AHI machine, and it begins to do the same. So fast forward here, preparing, same process.
to prepare the right load. So a little bit, but it's
Discharging. Sorry.
okay. We're gonna
Ah, man.
okay. We're gonna do what I mean.
Come on.
Okay, we're gonna do a new order.
So now
No,
the person,
I
the
will
driver
do
is ready to continue loading. And the other cool thing that we had, and we had two iterations with this new interface, is that you can also, like in the video, it was yet not implemented, but now with an update that we did yesterday night, that you might have seen, you're also able to, instead of having to wait until the mix is finished, like just sitting there in the truck waiting for the mix to be discharged, you can just let it mixing. Then you can go load another ingredient and then go back and just discharge. So that helps a lot to agilize how the system works and not, I don't know, not lose a second more than what you need. So that this is a very powerful tool that we're very excited about, and we have it already up and running in several farms. So another one important is related to the chute. I think I mentioned already this a little bit before. I'm gonna show now the this is a video on how it works when you're already treating cattle. So now basically, if you're, this is the demo here, but if you're treating cattle, you can either apply the protocol that is there, or you can in the next animal, you can change it. You can make like last moment changes in the dosage, or even just erase one of these ingredients. Like soon in a quick iteration that we'll have, you will be able to just edit this value, add just a new product just out of the blue, or erase a product outright, so you can have the most possible flexibility. Another thing that we're gonna do, we're gonna probably erase these little hyperlinks, so that just when you press, you can edit that value. So it's just less clicks to do stuff. And so we are adding that, and of course, you can see the summary that is already in place. I don't know. I'm not sure if last time was in place. I guess it is not. It was not. And then done that, and also the processing log, which will give you this last image in the same way that you do feeding, that you have the summary of the load and drop session, you have this shoot session, and in the processing log, basically you can access to these sessions here, and then you will be able to then load them as well.
Okay, okay.
So I'm probably gonna show now more on the app, the real app, the next features. So one is a cattle out by pen. The other one is the green bank, and the other one is the bank score flexibility. So let me get out of this place for a moment. I'm gonna show you guys. Uh, I do it this way because it maintains better the proportions. So, um, so catalog by pen. So in the same way we are closed out by lot, which is a standard thing. Now we can pick between the lot and the pen. So if I go by pen, it basically pulls out all the pens that I have. It tells me what are the lots that I have. So if I want to, I don't know, let's say that I want to close this pen, which has these three sublots or lots, it will just show me, and I can just do it like all sublots at the same time as part of the same movements. So it's a very simple feature, but it's really useful. Of course, I can always backdate it, and off I go. And I will have, as a result of that, three closeout. Well, it's giving me a warning, but I'm trying to sell animals that are on withdrawal. So that's also a good a way to show that other feature about the withdrawal date when we treat cattle. Like, but it won't prevent me from doing it, but it will just warn me. Like if there's some people that wants to completely prevent it, we can also make that as well. So I'm just gonna confirm it. So that's one thing. The other one is grain bank. So grain bank is a feature that, as I said, has two moments. The first moment happens when you are let me show you a little bit here. When you are yes, adding a new load of any ingredient. So let's say that we are going to add here, and instead of like nothing, what I have now is that this option where by default is always on feedstock. But if I do grain bank, so I can just, I don't know, assign 55 tons that just arrived, like assign the owner, Travis Brothers, and then I save it. So the system automatically knows that, of course, we have 55 more tons of this product, uh, but the system knows that those 55 tons belong to that customer. So when I'm going to bill, if I pick that owner, okay, yeah, I haven't done any consumption with this because like this is something that we launched yesterday. So it will show the on one end the credit that you have, that the customer has for the grain bank, and on the fee side it will pre-fill the fee, what's the amount of fee based on the settings, on my settings, on what should be that fee for the grain bank. So grain bank is here, so how much I'm charging for it. And again, you can also change it by the lot, but here you have your standard. So Greenback is a cool new feature. This leads me to the other one, which is more flexibility in bank scoring. So So far, let me do this here. So far, we would have on the Bunk score the typical scoring system, which is just like in absolute values, how much is the leftover, which is the most, I don't know, most common way to work here in the US in general. But now, as a first step towards like a more sophisticated Bunk scoring system, we have added this option that you can go into percentages. And if you go into percentages, the same thing changes to a percentage values as the leftover. So it might be, and I think I can do 5% if I want. So that is one of the things that are changing, and you will be seeing more changes here in Bank Score. We'll be soon adding like a chart for people to see more graphically things. You will be seeing different ways to input that call, and you will be even seeing you'll be seeing more of the days on feed here, days on rations, and more information related to this pen, so you don't have to go back all the way to the pen and go back here, like to the yard sheet and go back. So you don't need this. You will not need this back and forth. Um, and we will also start put in place an optionality to automate a certain response to a certain score. So that's part of what is coming. And coming back to the what is coming, there you go. In the following, there's a typo there. Let me just correct it. There you go. So over the next weeks and months, we will be adding a lot of stuff that we have received. Let me give you an insight on how we let me show you this. How we go about the feedback that we receive from you guys. Customer support, this one here. So all this is feedback that we receive from you guys. Like for anything that this, I'm just continuing to roll. So all these things are things that you guys ask us to have, and we put it all on like in terms of a processing, like reported by customers. We analyze it. We I don't know, like I don't know, and we go moving into the right to the point that it has already a new like a new feature and a new design. And for instance, compound interest, and this one thing that we haven't asked. So compound interest has been thought about us, and went through different stages, and now it's approved, has its own design, and it's ready to be deployed. And this is how you will see that, and in the option. So it might be anything, like anything related to the app. And what I mean by this is we take very seriously, really seriously, the feedback, and we try to merge all the things that come and we see that that have value, in terms in a pipeline of work that ends up in some update. So there's a lot of stuff coming out the pipeline that you will see in the coming months. So in this, sometimes like things get a little bit more delayed than others, like Greenback was delayed for a while. Pounds per head, ingredients was also, it's a little feature that like has a lot of impact across the app. But what I would say is we are working like strongly on adding more intelligence to the things that we already do today, like more planning on the feeding side, more improvements in shoot, like less steps, more flexibility, more improvements on animal health, also less steps, like reinforce the protocols based more on that on diagnosis. So just so that the veterinarians can be and the people that are treating cattle like more hands-on and more automation. um we are putting in place a lot of things around administration tools like account management, well, account compound interest, connecting with accounting software, like going over on the more deeper on the purchase of supplies, um digitizing the all the track checking process. So there's a lot coming out, being like in development, together with all the things that you're asking us, like all the list that I showed. It was around 200 features, a little bit more than that. So there's a ton of things that we will continue to improve and add as we progress. um and I think the same goes for this, like this is the roadmap. I usually show this in some of these our webinars. I think we are convinced that if we show you the roadmap that we have, you will be able to understand all the things that we're doing, and manage your expectations about things that you will need on the road, and hopefully engage with us, and also continues to help us to develop this thing. um there's going to be also like changes in the pricing plans. As you can see, we continue to improve the app and the platform in general. So there will be not so much for the people that are already on the platform. There will be no changes for them, mainly for you, but and many of you might be or might not be customers. Um, but we will organize this more in a way that reflects part of this growth or different features. For instance, Grain Bank is an added feature. The AHI connectivity to AHI is another feature. Like we're just trying to repackage our offers in a way that also that it's like that fits best each one's needs. So nobody's paying more than what he needs to pay, and of course, and the opposite as well. um so you will see that, and there's some of that already in our webpage, but you will be seeing like hopefully good changes for all the community very soon. I don't know if you guys, I think that's it for today in terms of features. Let me I don't know, just open let me open the mic for any questions that you may have.
You have Ignacio, you have look at the comments.
Okay. Yeah.
There you go, from Corey Worthman.
These are two great enhancements. Thank you, Corey. And we're happy to um we're happy that you like them. Um any updates on cow calf and pasture? Yes, we have a parallel team working on the pasture side. Of course, we are not running as fast as we can, as we want, not as we can. We're running as fast as we can, but we're not as fast as we want in terms of the cow calf side. Like I would say, I would shoot for like during this second quarter we should have something. So the way we sometimes we do this thing is that we like the whole cow calf, like just take the sample of cow calf and pasture as a big package where you have all the inventory management and on the reproduction aspect of animal health and the pasture management aspect of all this. So it's like a lot of things within those titles. Um, we will the very first thing that we're coming up with is being able to recognize relationships between certain cows, bulls, and calves, and being able to change between classes as the cows turn into heifers or steers. So in this way, with the animal profile feature that you already have, we will add like more features more on the genetic side of things, so, or phenotype side of things, so you can so you can like just add information on the profiles of animals, genetic traits, I don't know, selective traits, and also add the other big thing first will be add the birth as a concept, so that you can create a new calf and relate it to a certain bull and a certain cow. So that's the very first thing. In parallel, we have the pasture side of things. We were expected to have it in the first quarter. We weren't able because we're overloaded with the amount of things that we're doing. But I'm hopeful that during this quarter, we'll be able to like this quarter is the second quarter. During this second quarter, we'll be able to launch the first things related to this side of things, if it makes sense. So another question: ration pound per head ingredient. This is very super urgent. We should have already launched it during February. It is not a complex thing. The complexity is around the impact that it has all across the app. So it's more like the feature itself is very easy to program. It's more about like all the things that we need to change in many other sections just to make up for it. So it's super urgent. Like I want to say April, and if not May at the most, because it's like long. This was like green bank, like long due. Will the ration per pound per head ingredient will be able to adjust the daily consumption? Example: if cattle are eating 30 pounds yesterday, but the weather is going to be cold for a couple of days, can I easily just bump the silage pounds if needed? I guess you're talking about a couple of different things. If I'm not understanding wrong, you're referring to. So one thing is about adjusting the pound per head ingredient. Yes, you can already go by the dry matter per head and adjust it in general for the and when we have the pounds per head, you will be able to do so as well on that basis. So that's like you will be able to adjust it along the way, regardless of how much silage you might want to put one day. The other day that we will flexibilize is that you will be able to, especially for forage feed, forage-based feed. Let's say that you have like a bale of silage, you will be able to I don't know, certain ingredients, schedule them like one every 3 days or one every 7 days, something like that. So that's another thing that we will be able to do. So that's also related, directly related to all the pasture side of things. So I want to, and the other thing is being able to recognize micro ingredients and macro ingredients. So let's say that you're creating you're putting together certain ingredients onto a new ingredient that was the addition of the other ingredients. Like that is also coming down the pipeline this quarter. I cannot promise that it will be for April, but sometime along end of May or beginning of June will be there. Yeah, and rather than seeing the percentage, yeah, I understand what you're saying. Perhaps we're gonna add also units. So if you have a unit of a certain bail roll, you can do it by the unit. So about the hard X implementation, we're doing good. I have the reader with me. We were able to read from the UHF EID hard X reader. We are just waiting for our head of hardware to make last moment adjustment. He's coming from Argentina. He's arriving tomorrow, so hopefully before this month ends, we will have that implemented. So that is going good. It's a little bit like the API is a little bit unstable on their end. So we're just trying to make sure on a like I want to have the hardware because we have done it remotely so far. I want to make sure that he has it on his hands, and we're covering all the border cases so we can safely launch it. So, but it's a matter of days. Any other question? And feel free to like unmute yourself if we allow you to do that. Can we allow to do that? And just make a question whenever you want, like through the chat or not. Can we show more on the Bank billing and screens that you might have? Yes. Let me be. So let me see if I can. Because it's so new that we weren't able to. Let me see if the lot. Let me get to feed this guy. To see if we can do that. Load and drop. Let me see if I have what is the oh, because we did it for okay, because that was not present. Let me add.
Can we show on the Figma screens, Ignacio? That could probably be a way
Yes,
of doing
yes,
that.
on Figma screen we can do that as well. But I think we can have it. But I'm pretty sure we can do it. Like I want to do the exercise with some Crescent Ranch. Let me add for Crescent Ranch some DDG. What happens that Travis Bros what didn't have any fee, any feed. Okay. And now I'm going to Crescent Ranch as it's in pen 2 and C4, PC14. Oh, it's all done. Let me see if I can do it tomorrow. Yeah. No, it's for tomorrow. Okay, let me see if I can build this. Oh, there you go. So it will, like, you have all your lots for this owner, and at the end, so let's say that you open here this DDGs, bed products, blah blah blah, blah, the fees, and then you have this new tab, which is the grain bank. So you have the DDGs, the amount that was used. This is the amount that was used for this customer. So regardless of having or him having added 50 tons, I cannot charge him for more than the amount that he fed. But if it's the opposite, I can do more as well. So, and then I have the grain banking fee, and this is the unit cost, and I'm going to charge him for that. So on one end you have the discount on the consumption, and on the other side you have the fee for the handling. That's how it looked like. I don't know if he answers the question. Sorry that I was a little bit inelegant. So under the bank score tab, I can easily increase the DM per head. However, is there a simple way to increase a simple ingredient rather than all ingredients as a percentage? So, but like what you're saying is that if you like the way, so we are adding rations here in the bank score and in delivery plans. So if you want to, like at this point, how the app is now, if you want to add one single ingredient, you should be able to create a ration that has only one ingredient. Let us think about that, because I don't see, it is the first time that we get a response on like a question on just adding one ingredient instead of the whole ration. Technically, it would be possible. I'm wondering in what situations you might need to do that. So we're happy to do like a side call to understand a little bit better the situation, because it's not a typical thing that we hear, if it makes sense. We're happy to go over that question in particular. Not just increasing one, no, just increasing one ingredient, not the other 5. Yeah, I understand that. But in general, as a concept, when we are like when we are scoring and adding, we always go by the ration, because what you're doing is just changing the ration. So I think the logical answer would be change the ration, and from then on you will have more of that ingredient, because it kind of creates as a mess with all the ingredients, like why only that ingredient, and how does end up, how we estimate what the total amount of dry matter that you end up at the end. So I think it's more complex than that. I would, for that particular point, I'm more than happy to talk about that, like on the sidelines. Anyone else? So if not, just I don't know, we're gonna save your time as well. You may be getting close to dinner, so send us all the questions that you might have. We're happy to answer them. Like we're happy to Michael, we will do like a quick call with you so we can understand a little bit more the request, and we're always open. And we are super excited that that you might want to use any of these new things, and we will continue to improve. And I don't know, we're here for you, and this is part of the fun. Just continuing to make something that is useful and fun for you as well. and mainly that, of course, it has to make money. So Chance says, I don't care if they get 10 of corn each day. All I care is how much dry matter intake they have. Okay, I guess that you're answering to Michael Fast. But I think it's a good point for discussion per head, he says. Yeah, I'm like we're always open to have these conversations, because I think it's regardless of the software thing, part of the thing, I think it raises issues about how we work and how we go about the animal science part of this. So open for the conversation. Thank you everybody, and if anybody has any more comment, we're happy to read it out loud, or just reach out to us, and there's much more to come. Thank you everybody. Thank you very much.